Today I'm going to make apple crisp. I woke up this morning and I felt fall in the air and I thought, what better to smell apples and cinnamon throughout your house. So today I'm going to show you step by step how to make this. Today for the apple crisp, you'll need a half a cup of old-fashioned oats, a half a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of AP flour, 1 cup of white sugar, salt for a pinch of salt, 1 stick of cold butter, a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to use 2 half teaspoons throughout the recipe, and some lemon. And 4 apples. Now here I have 2 different apples, large and small, and I wanted to show you because it really doesn't matter which ones you choose. The ingredients that go along with it really enhance the flavor of a simple apple. You want it super sweet, you can choose the apple that you enjoy most. If you want it just average sweetness, then maybe get one that's tart apple. So here I have a Fuji apple and a Pink Lady apple. Before you start peeling the apples, make sure you have all your ingredients out in front of you. Here I set the oven to 350 and let it preheat while I start creating the dish. So I'm going to start by peeling the apples. I hold the apple this way and I'm going to peel away from me. That way I can see where I start the peeler and I know it's going to end by not hitting my fingers. So I'm just going to peel it. And some skin on the bottom. But when I cut the apple, I will avoid that part because the skin in the apple crisp is not that enjoyable. Okay, when it comes to the slices in the apple crisp, people like long slices of apple. You can do diced. It could fall over maybe some very cold vanilla ice cream better, but the standard and the usual recipe calls for slices of apples this way. So we're going to slice around the core. So I'm going to do 4 pieces. So one side, turn it. I'm kind of creating just a box in the middle. I may be wasting some apple, avoiding the core, but it's better than having core in the apple crisp because no one also wants to taste that. And take one of the sides. I'm going to put my knife about to slice this thick, and I'm going to keep it uniform as I cut through. That way, during the baking process, they're all cooking evenly. Nice even slices. I see a little skin, so I'm just going to go and just slice that right off because nobody wants that. Okay. Make sure you keep your fingertips away from the knife, please. Oh. Quick tip. A knife skill that you should keep in mind when cutting a vegetable or fruit, anything, is claw the product with your hands just like so. And you kind of create like a flat surface on your fingertips. And I'm fixing my ring. So you're going to take your knife and you're going to slide it right here along the flat surface of your finger. And that helps to prevent your fingertips from being in the way of cutting. No one really knows it, but your body's programmed for this cooking thing. We're all good at it some way or another. So we're going to take the knife and we're just going to slide it. And you just cut the product just like so. Actually take some of these away because you only need 4 apples and I used 4 and a little more. So now you're going to add the apples that you sliced to your pie pan. So here I have 4 sliced apples, which you need for this recipe. Also what you'll need is a pie pan and a large mixing bowl, any type. You could use a small bowl, but it's going to get tricky because your hands are going to be the best tool for this one also. So first, to mix the apples, to add the flavor to the base of this apple crisp, you're going to add some white sugar. So here I have a cup of white sugar. So I'm just going to sprinkle it. That's a lot. Baby, that's a lot. Now you're going to take a teaspoon of cinnamon. The recipe calls for a full teaspoon of cinnamon, but I like to separate the flavor. So I'm going to do half with the apples and then half on the topping. So here I go. Perfect. And now you're going to do a pinch of salt. So I'm just going to sprinkle some in my hands like so and just throw it in there. Salt enhances flavors, so I like to just throw it into something sweet. It sounds strange, but it actually balances everything out, and no one ever thinks it's salty, but it really does change something, and everyone enjoys it, so take my word. So once you have the dry ingredients with the apples, you're going to take a lemon. You're going to take the lemon, slice it in half, and you're going to squeeze the juice into the apples. I'm going to put my hand in the middle of catching the juice and the apples just to catch any seeds. So just like this, just going to squeeze gently. So slowly, just going to kind of toss it around until it's evenly coated in the pie pan, just like so. Delicious. And you can see the apple slices all kind of hold the same shape and the same thickness, which is great because while it's cooking in the oven, you know that the heat is going through each one exactly the same way. And if you have a little crunch in them, you know there's a crunch throughout. If it's nice and soft throughout, then you know there's not going to be any hidden surprises. So I'm going to rinse my hands. So after you've tossed the apples in the pie pan, you're just going to set it aside so we can do the topping. This is when the big bowl comes into play. Doesn't matter what kind. Just get a big bowl enough so you can put both hands in and kind of just mess around until you create a sandy-like texture. I will show you. So first you're going to add half a cup of oats. Throw it right on in. Half a cup of brown sugar. 1 cup of AP flour. Just gonna sprinkle it in. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. This is where I was talking about having the cinnamon taste from the top to bottom, not just on the top crust, but throughout. And now the cold butter. So the reason I say cold butter, and the reason that it should be kind of chilled and not room temperature, is because if you have cold butter on the top of this apple crisp, while it goes in the oven, it kind of balances out the cooking process. While the apples halfway are done, the butter is finally surrendering to the heat, and it's kind of allowing it to have a very golden brown top. And it kind of works out all together. If it's room temperature, you're going to put everything in the oven, everything's warm, then the butter will start to just droop a lot and the apples will still need time to cook. So now your topping is maybe a little darker than you wanted, or maybe very soupy. So that is the reason for cold butter. Here we go. So I kind of just chop the butter up so it's a little easier for myself, and I'm going to throw it into the topping just like so. Now take your great utensils, aka your hands, and you're just going to kind of pinch all the way through. I like to take a cube of butter and I like to just pinch it just like so, over and over again, and incorporate the ingredients as I do so. And that's how you kind of create a coarse-like texture for a topping. The smell that this recipe gives your house is amazing. That is the first reason why I make it. And then the second reason why is because I love to watch my family enjoy it. Should I say that? Should I say the first reason is I like to watch my family enjoy it, and the second reason is the scent. So as you can see, I kind of cleaned up a little bit. You have your toppings in the big bowl, you have your apples in the pie pan, you have your messy hands. So at this point, the only thing messy should just be your fingertips. So as you continue to make the topping, this is the result you're looking for. You can see clumps of butter that are still cold and still put together, and that's what you want. So before you kind of mess with it too much that it becomes warm and room temperature, you're going to top it on top of your apples in the pie pan. I like to sprinkle it on. Starting from the inside, I kind of just go a little above, and then I make my way to the edges. Now I'll go around, throw the topping all over those deliciously flavored apples. When I was younger, I'd go apple picking and wonder, I have 8 apples. What am I gonna do with these? How am I gonna eat these all? Then I got a little older and I realized, well, 4 can be used in apple crisp, and 2 can be used in this, and 1 can be used in that. Go apple picking. I suggest that this fall. I highly suggest going apple picking. You will enjoy this recipe. Okay, so now that your apples are topped with the crisp, you're going to put them in your preheated oven, 350. I'm gonna wash my hands first, and after you wash your hands, you're gonna put them in your oven at 350. Alrighty, so now that I clean up my hands, I'm gonna pop this in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. Just grab anything you can to take the apple crisp off. Alright, so take the apple crisp out of the oven. And you should see after 20 minutes, the top is nice and golden brown. You can tell the apples are cooked through. There's one that's just hanging out on the edge, which you can kind of see is golden brown around the edges and very well cooked through. So I'm excited to get into this deliciousness. And the flavors in this house right now, if you can only smell it, it's just scarf atmosphere and high boot atmosphere. It is fall time, everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna let this cool for a little bit, but not fully cool, because the best part about apple crisp, if it's freshly made, is getting that vanilla ice cream out of the freezer, putting that in a bowl, and just topping it with this delicious hot masterpiece. So 5 more minutes and we'll dig right in. So I pulled out the apple crisp that I had in the oven cooking while I was showing you guys how to assemble it. But now that I threw in the nice fresh one that's ready to be cooked and it's taking its time beautifully, I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes. And on. Perfect. Now, just like I had said before, it's all about the foundation, the ingredients you have, the recipe you have. Now it's all about what you're actually doing. Apples take about 20 minutes to cook through. Anything less, you might have something crunchy, and if that's what you prefer, great. But 20 minutes is exactly what you need to get the top brown and to get the apples cooked through. You don't want to come down to a burnt apple crisp. I mean, I have before in the past, trial and error, yes, but you don't want to have to scrape off anything today after you watch Kaitlyn's Kitchen. So please, 20 minutes in the oven, put a timer on however you can, and let that cook. Some things, like for some reason I feel like I said elephant at one point. I don't know, that's what I think. I thought I did. Alrighty, so now I'm going to pull up the apple crisp. Smells delicious. Just looks absolutely amazing. The nice browning on the top, kind of toasted in the oven while the apples underneath were cooking and kind of blending all the flavors together. So I'm going to allow that to just sit and chill. I'm going to allow that to just sit and cool for a little bit, not too long, because that warm heat from the apple crisp tastes amazing on top of vanilla ice cream, which I have in the freezer. So make sure you have that. Okay, so now I let the apple crisp sit for about 3 minutes. I said 5, but I just can't wait any longer. So here I go. I'm gonna grab some vanilla. Be careful, the fridge is hot. Like what? Okay, so I'm gonna grab some vanilla ice cream. I'm going to put some on a plate. And people probably wonder if you should use a bowl, if you should use a plate, but either way, you're going to eat this very quickly, so it doesn't matter, it won't melt on you. It's gonna work just correct. No, it doesn't make any sense. Alright, so scoop out some vanilla ice cream, just like so. And you're gonna top it with this deliciously warm apple crisp. Let's bring this beautiful thing right over here. Your family is going to be very excited to see this. A little inside scoop, before every episode I just do a trial run at home one more time, and my family is very excited about that and they never complain. And when they had this the other day, they absolutely loved every single bite, especially the young ones. And that's a key to this. This is why I love to cook, because I love to see them eat and be happy. Okay, so now here I have the ice cream. So I'm gonna just grab some apple crisp with a spoon. Just gonna grab myself a nice spoonful. Just top it, ooh, right on top. Get some of that crisp on there. Oh yeah. I put a lot because I got my own bowl. I put a lot because I got my own plate. So I suggest you get your own plate. Let's dig on in. So delicious. What I love most about this is it's like candy, but you know half of it is just pure fruit. I'm taking another bite. So here I go. But you know half of this is just pure apples, and that's the best part about it. And then the ice cream just kind of just like jumps right in, just like bam, just like bam. It's just great. And if you don't have vanilla ice cream, once again, that is fine. Having this alone in a bowl on your couch under warm covers is just amazing. Apple crisp, I highly recommend. And I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you have any changes in it and you have your own personal add, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to know. My kids absolutely love this recipe, but an even better one would be awesome. So give me your take, or let me know how yours came out, or let me know how your came. Oh my goodness! Enjoy. Like, can you just rewind 30 seconds and I'll just try again. Quick tip, apple crisp, no bottom. That's why we put it on top of the ice cream. But apple pie consists of a bottom. That's why I usually see them resulting with ice cream on top.